This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the brilliant Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, buddy. How are you?
Bree, I was, as you know, so excited when this guest name popped in our inbox because she got me through the pandemic with her extend bar classes. Like when we couldn't go to a gym, I was like, oh my gosh, where can I exercise? What can I do? And I found Andrea Leigh Rogers. I don't even know where I found her, but I found her. And every day in my living room, I had that extend bar class on. Like my daughter was doing it with me at times. And it was just like one of those core memories from the pandemic when we were all stuck inside.
I love that it's a positive memory from the pandemic.
Yeah. For all of us introverts, we actually have a lot of positive memories from the pandemic, other than like what was happening. But like, I know you did not breathe
I was gonna
because you were
say,
clawing at the walls. Yes.
I lucked out. I will say that my now husband and I were in a stable enough place that he was in my bubble. But man, if I was locked up with just my kids and my dog, I don't know how I would have come out of that pandemic.
Yeah. Yes. Something else I really loved about Andrea was her positivity. And if right now you are having a really challenging time talking to yourself nicely and not knowing maybe what to say to yourself, to encourage yourself, to help you feel better, this is the episode for you. We're going to go into it and also how to entangle yourself from what other people expect from you and what you actually want, which Bree, you know, we've been talking about lately. It's a hard thing.
It is hard. It's ingrained in us and it's not good for us.
No,
so we need to work
it's not
on that.
good for us. So let me introduce our guest. Andrea Leigh Rogers is a celebrity trainer, motivational coach, and founder of Extend Bar. In her new book, Small Moves, Big Life, 7 Daily Practices to Supercharge Your Energy, Productivity, and Happiness in Just Minutes a Day, which drops next week. Go get that pre-order. You know how important that is. She offers 7 simple practices that women can weave into their day in just 30 minutes total. No overhaul, no pressure. Just real life tools to boost energy and motivation fast. Andrea is also a mom to 2 little ones. And with that, let's get on with our show. Welcome to the podcast, Andrea. We are so happy to have you here and discuss this topic because it is really, really hard for us as moms to be nice to ourselves.
Isn't that the truth? Well, thank you for having me and thank you for being so nice to me. Excited to be here.
And I was curious, you're a mom to 2 little ones. How old are your kids?
Yes. So not so little anymore. My oldest just started high school, believe it or
Oh
not.
my gosh.
What is happening?
I know.
Yeah, she's in 9th grade. So she's going to be turning 15. And my younger one is 12 going on 25. So
we know
how
that. Yeah, we know what
Yes.
that's like.
Yeah. So we've got middle school and high school navigation, which is always fun.
You have very, very similar ages to my kids. I have a 12-year-old who's a 7th grader, and I have a 16-year-old who is a senior in high school.
Oh my God.
She turned 17 in December. She's a little young for her grade, but it's insane.
You have a senior.
I have a senior. Bree has a senior and a college freshman.
You guys, you look good. That's wild.
Stop. Keep going.
No, really, seriously.
Keep going.
That's crazy. Wow. Big life changes, especially for you, Bree. You have the last year of having them at home.
I do. Like I just moved my oldest into his dorm a couple of weeks ago, but he's going to college only like 30 minutes away. So the dorm was more of you need to go experience college. Go away.
You bet. Adulting.
Yeah, adulting. And then I've got
Yeah.
the senior again. So I'm like, hey, I remember all this. We just had it last year.
Yeah, it's like just do it over again. So Andrea, as a mom, like you have a very successful career. I mean, celebrity trainer, your own Extend Bar. When raising your kids, how did you untangle this difference between what you wanted to pursue versus like what was expected of you as a mom? Like, did you feel that pressure on you when building this?
You know, for me, I became a single mother unexpectedly. I was kind of thrown into the trenches. You know, my daughters were 4 and 6 years old when my life kind of took a complete spin. and I wasn't prepared to be raising 2 children on my own. But it was through that kind of challenging time and those moments in my life that I just kind of doubled down on both myself and my mom duties. And I didn't let one take over the other. And I'll tell you why. I was in a survival mode. I was treading water. I was barely getting air at certain times. And I knew that in order to be a good mother, I needed to take care of myself. Like I knew that instinctively, I knew that I had to do some things to feel good every day that would help me to be a good mother. And so I slowly just started to implement different practices, little things every day that I was like, okay, that felt good. This is making me feel sane. I feel more in control of my life. I feel like I can do the next thing I have to do today on my list. And that slowly just added up. But because I am a single mother and I run a business, an international business, I have to travel quite a bit. And I've had conversations with my girls from a very young age to explain what it means to be a working mother. And I've explained to them, not as if they're children, but as if they're, mini adults, about the importance of me not only having a career to provide for us as a family, but me to have something that I'm passionate about to provide for my mental health as a woman, and I want them as 2 young girls and now be teenage girls to understand the impact it has when we neglect ourselves, because we've all been there and we do it often. And I want them to understand I need my time. And I will say, I need my time. Like I need my alone time. I need my adult time. I also need to have like my own fun time. But when I'm present, I'm present. Like when I'm there, I'm there. And I don't allow myself to go into that whole mom guilt spin. I just am like, Andrea, you're doing a good job. You're trying your best. I have moments. Don't get me wrong. I do have moments. It's not like I never feel it, but I don't let it sink into my soul. I allow myself a moment of feeling like, okay, maybe you could have done better, or you should have been there, or you couldn't make that happen. But I try my best to go, okay, the expectations we have set on ourselves as women is ridiculous. It is unsustainable.
Right?
It's like, it's not reality. It's this fake world we live in where we are supposed to do all, for all, be all, for all, and like look fabulous while doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's out of control. It's really out of control. And we put it on ourselves. We all talk about it like, oh, this is ridiculous. But yet we still have those expectations for ourselves. And when we fall short,
we feel like crap.
We feel defeated.
Yeah.
Yes.
We beat ourselves up. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Andrea, like so much you just said. I just want to like take it all apart and learn like everything I can from you, because you have the mindset that I want totally, that we strive for, because you said you don't let it sink into your soul and let it affect you. I see so many women. In fact, this morning in particular, I was planning to go to Mexico with my mom and my sister. Tomorrow we were supposed to leave, and my sister called me and she has a last minute emergency and she can't come. And now my mom doesn't want to come because she's worried about my sister for that emergency. But I know that it all ties back to my sister not wanting to leave her kids because she doesn't feel like anyone else can take care of her children but her. And it's one of those things where it's not uncommon at all, this mindset. And I don't even know how to approach it as a sister. I just want to like help as many women as possible and show them that you do not have to live this way to be happy. And I guess what I wanted to know is like, you don't let the mom guilt sink into your soul. So like when you're leaving on travel and when you're going to these places, what are some things you tell yourself? You mentioned a little bit already, but like when you're leaving, your girls are like, Mom, don't go. What do you do?
And they do. It's not like they're like, bye, see you later. They're like, we don't want you to go. Like, why do you have to go? Like, and they're used to it. This has been, a decade of me traveling and doing this, but they still don't want me to go and they still get a little pouty. And I say, I get it. Like, I understand I'm going to miss you too, but here's what I'm doing. And I kind of walk through like what I'm doing. So they have an understanding that I'm not just going on a business trip. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be meeting with this person and this is what I've done. And hey, will you look at this for me? Or I bring them into my room. They help me pack. Like, what should I wear for this meeting? And how should I, present myself for this? And they get involved in it. And I want them to feel like they are a part of what I am doing, because it's all of us, right? I'm doing the work, but it's a team effort. And so I kind of bring them into that fold. And when they have those moments, I say, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to focus on the good. Like, while I'm gone, I want you to go after this, this, and this. And I kind of set the stage for some specific little goals for them while I'm traveling. And again, just bringing them into the fold. And when I'm gone, like, for example, when they go to their dad's or I'm traveling and we're apart, I try to make an effort, especially as they've gotten older, to not check in with them so often.
Oh my God, that is so hard. Okay, wait, I gotta tell you, as a single mom for many years, I'm now remarried. Like, it is so hard. All I can say is praise the Lord for Life 360. I creep. I creep on my kids. They know I creep on
as
them.
well. I do it as well. Yeah.
It keeps me from texting them nonstop. I'm like, okay. Like college freshman, I know he's at his dorm. I'm good. But yeah, it is so hard not to check in on them constantly, especially like, I know you said that you had the big change when they were younger, but it's never going to be 100% easy when your kids aren't around you all the time, when they're still below that age of being an adult.
Absolutely.
But even when they are adults, it's really hard too.
It's
like
hard.
Like you just said, Bree, you check, you make sure he's in his college dorm.
Technically an adult. He's still my baby.
I get it. I don't think that changes. I mean, my kid's father lives in another state, so they've been traveling solo as unaccompanied minors on the airplane since they were 5 and 7.
Okay.
And putting them on that plane in the beginning, I mean, you're like, you're so strong the second the door closes. Like the tears come. But I did tell myself, I'm like, I need to not be, how are you doing? What's going on over there? Like, I'm trying to very, intentionally pull back. And when they text me, I respond.
Okay.
Right? I'm not the first text in the morning. I'm trying to be like, you got this. You don't need me to say good morning every morning. You don't need me to say good night every night. They know I love the heck out of them. They know I'm thinking of them.
Yeah.
But I want them to feel that independence without having to feel that constant connection to me. And so it's been intentional. It's not easy, and if I don't hear from them for a couple of days, I'm like, okay, they're okay. It's fine. But I'm proud of them too, for not having to always, touch base.
Yeah, that independence is so important. And I know, Bree, you have a quick question, and we're going to get to that right after this. Nowadays, we're all juggling work, school drop-offs, events, appointments, and everything else. So flexibility in education isn't just nice to have, it is essential.
And that's what makes K-12 powered schools such a fantastic and valuable option. It's tuition free. You heard that, free. Accredited online public school for kindergarten through 12th grade, and it's designed to fit your real family life.
With K-12, school happens wherever there's internet, whether that's from the comfort of home, a grandparent's house, or on the go between activities. It moves with you.
Students can follow a daily schedule that fits their learning style and your family's rhythm, all with the support of certified teachers who are trained specifically for online education.
Plus, there are online clubs and social events so kids can still connect and build confidence no matter where they're logging in from. See why more than 3 million families have chosen K-12 to empower their students. Go to k12.com/NGM today to learn more. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/NGM. K12.com/NGM.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast Gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast Gems.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, Andrea, before the break, you were talking about how you have had this clear mindset from the beginning of, trying to have your kids feel like they can do things on their own. They are strong, and showing them that you feel that way. And so because of that, you've made some conscious decisions in raising them about talking to them about all the things you're doing and about not butting in all the time. Like, that's what I would say I'm doing, because I like to make jokes about it. So like not constantly being like, how you doing? What you doing? What'd you eat? What'd you do? Did you have that ideation from the beginning, or did you have a friend or a life experience that made you go, you know what? I definitely want to make sure I don't do this. I don't smother them. I don't constantly check in so that they feel like either I need them or that they can't do things on their own. Did you have something that influenced you to have you do that? Because like I'm hearing you and I'm like, where were you when I got divorced? I could have
Yeah.
used that.
Yeah. That's why I hope this book helps some individuals, because it was written during the time, well, the principles were created during the time that I was going through the divorce, and it was a survival. And I just had to lean into what I knew instinctively would help me and get rid of the noise and get rid of all the other talk or all the emotions and just kind of clear the clutter in my head and just focus on what I needed to do. But also, my younger daughter, my children are very different. As we all know, kids are very different. My older one is incredibly independent, and my younger one at that time was not. She was not as independent, and she needed to constantly check in with me. And she was always like getting approval and seeking my approval on a regular basis, a lot. And so I had to make an effort to, sit down and talk with her about how to find that independence. And so through practice, I had to show her that, she didn't have to always. So that's kind of how it developed. She would get sometimes nervous to go on the plane, and we would have our talks and conversations. And then she just bloomed. I mean, she blossomed. She just kind of grew into this incredibly independent person.
And you
now,
were like,
which is like,
I'm onto something here. This is working.
Yeah. It took some time though. It wasn't an overnight thing by any means. It wasn't like, I'm just going to pull back a little bit and she's just going to blossom. No, it took a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of conversations, and, or as my kids say, lectures. So yes, it took some effort.
Would you have considered yourself an independent person before your divorce, or was that something that kind of showed you how important it was to be independent when you were going through that process?
I've always been a very independent person from a very young age. I was a dancer. I traveled by myself. I remember when I was like 12 and 13, I would go with my dance instructor who owned the studio, and she would take me on trips. And I was the only one, like I would go with her, and I'd have to go into a room full of people from a different state that I've never known and meet kids and try to sit down and have lunch with them and make relationships. So I've always, thankfully, through those experiences, been able to find confidence in being independent and being by myself. However, I didn't want to be alone in life and alone in raising kids. And that definitely threw me for a loop. But it was because of my upbringing and because I had the ability to lean on all of those experiences as a child that I didn't sit in the closet floor for too long. Like I allowed myself a one big cry session, truly like one big cry session. Then I was like, all right, you have a choice. You can sit here and wallow in this because it does suck. And this is not what you expected. You did not sign up for this, nor did you deserve this. But this is it. This is your life. And now you have to figure out what to do. And, that's kind of where it all came from.
Yeah, that's amazing. And in your book, you have 7 small things that people can do to really start living this kind of life where they are in charge of what they want instead of looking at the expectations of others to kind of dictate how they live their life. And as I was reading through them, one really stuck out to me as appearing over and over again for members of our community and something that I am struggling with, honestly, right now. And that is your mind up principle.
That's a good one.
Tell us about that and how that started.
Oh, girl, that was pure survival.
Yeah.
I always go back to the story of I was in South Florida and it was a bad day and I was walking through the grocery store and I felt my knees buckle. I physically felt like, oh my gosh, I have to hold on to this grocery cart because I am not going to be able to stand. It was like the world around me. Everyone was smiling. I'm smiling back. I'm from Michigan. We smile at everyone. And I'm like, life is good. But inside, I was just crumbling. And I remember getting in my car and driving home and getting into the kitchen. And I was like, I've got to make some changes. Like, I've got to start doing some things to just right size my mind because I'm going to sink. So one of those things was breathing, which I talk about in the book, intentional breath work. And then the other that I really leaned into was this mind up mentality. And I found an app, online. I'm not a big, huge app person to begin with, but I don't even remember how I came across it or what I was seeking. But I found this app, and essentially it is an app that is a guided affirmation where you record your own voice of things that you are grateful for. So for example, I am grateful for the love of my life and my children being happy and healthy, right? And you record these affirmations, okay? So you record them, boom, I have 5 of them. And then you go back and you listen to them and you press play on them throughout the day. And there is something very powerful about not only recording it, because that takes a lot of courage and confidence when you're in a really low place to kind of say these things and you kind of feel ridiculous speaking out loud to yourself.
Yeah.
And then you kind of feel ridiculous like listening to your own voice because nobody likes the sound of their own voice. But it was very powerful for me. And it was a tool that I used. I mean, in the beginning, I was listening to that 5-6 times a day. Every time I felt like I was going to crumble, I'd press play on it, close my eyes, listen to it. It has soft music in the background, and just allow myself to hear that. And not only hear it, but I would visualize what that was. Like I would visualize, like I remember visualizing being grateful for writing a book and having a book in my hand and thinking about that book in my hand and doing these podcasts and like feeling that. I would close my eyes and visualize the book in my hand. I'd visualize me sitting here with, these earpods on and talking and have these conversations. And I would really lean into what I knew I was capable of achieving. I wasn't there yet. I wasn't close. I was in the heaviness part of my life,
Yeah.
But I knew I was meant for greater things. And I leaned into that knowing, and I leaned into that confidence, and I knew it wasn't going to be easy and it was going to take a hell of a lot of work and a lot of time and patience. But I just kept thinking about that. And that mind up mentality is something that I feel like it saved me. And now I don't need it 5 or 6 times a day. Maybe I'm doing it once a week, maybe a couple times a week. And then it segued into my household with my daughters. So, I mentioned lecturing. I'm sure you guys hear the eye rolls when you're talking to your kids.
Oh,
yeah.
My daughter and I just had it out last night about the eye rolls. I'm like, don't you roll those eyes at me.
Don't you
Don't you do that?
I am trying to help you. I do not understand. This is for your own good.
Oh my God, yes. That was exactly last night. Like, were you in my
I am
garage?
so not a fighter on that. I'm always like, I love seeing you guys like fight back on it because I am all like, oh my gosh, okay, let me just like back out. This is not the time. This is not the time. Don't want to poke the bear. This is not the time.
Okay, but I have to say, Joanne knows why I lose my crap. And Andrea, you have to tell me if you have this, because my daughter is literally a mirror of me staring back. So like actually the rolling the eyes.
Yep.
Next thing I was like, don't you roll your eyes at me? And she goes, well, you're rolling your eyes at me. And I'm like, I get you. I was here first.
I was here first. I know more. Yes. Oh my God. It's so true. And then they make a really good point and you're like,
I hate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
They always make good points. That's the thing. Like I'm always learning stuff from my daughter.
I am too.
It's astounding to me. I'm like, wow, you are really wise. in
Yes.
that, like
yes.
young
it is
body.
awful when they come back at you with like, they're like, but don't you always tell me that I should do things on my own? And this is how I want to do it. And you always say like, I need to learn through experience. Oh, shut up. Quit giving me sound advice. Quit it.
And it's true. And you have to acknowledge that, right? I'm always like, oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you're
how I
right.
typically say it back. I'll be like, quit giving me sound advice. And then she laughs and we laugh and we're all
I
good.
love that. So that's kind of how Mind Up started, though. Not started, but that's how it influenced in my house. Because instead of the lectures, I saw them like zoning out, right? As I was like in sentence 2. So finally I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to say next time I want you to attack something with a more positive mindset or a little more confidence. I'm going to say mind up. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm not going to give you any more. Like, that's it. So at our house, it turned into just things were going a different direction or negativity or like whining or complaining. I'm like, mind up, girl, mind up.
I love that. That's such a little short phrase.
And that was enough for them to know where I was coming from. And then it turned into just like tap the head and up. Sometimes I wouldn't even have to say it. Like, so if we were somewhere in public, I'd be like, mind up. And that was it.
What I love about this is that it started with you. Like you knew that you needed to fix your own mentality and your own thoughts. And then once you had it kind of, I don't want to say fixed because we don't like to fix things, but once you had it strong, you were able then to pass it along to your kids. And that is so important. And it's such an important message, I think, for everyone to get, because if we ourselves are telling ourselves how much crap we are and like how we're not enough, there is no way that we can go and teach our kids like that. So starting with you is like the most unselfish thing you can do in the long run.
Yes. Oh, say that again. It's so true. Starting with you is the most unselfish thing you can do.
Yes. Yes.
That is it.
I want to dig into exactly like how you set these up because there's some nuances I saw in what your gratitude things were. And we'll do that right after this.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. The all-new Audi A5. with breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The all-new Audi A5.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
So, Andrea, I noticed that when you talked about doing your gratitudes, it wasn't things that were happening in your life right then. It was future-based. So, tell us a little bit about how you decided what to write.
Yes. So I wanted to focus on where I knew I was going, not where I was stuck currently, because I feel like that's what happens all the time. Yeah. We're always in this, either we're looking backwards or the forward projection looks too far away and unattainable. And then we get stuck in the middle, which is where we feel stuck, right? Where we're like, this caused me to be right here and I'm not over there. So I'm just going to wallow in this moment right here and feel like it's never changing. Nothing's ever changing, And so instead I was like, okay, yes, it is. It's going to change. And I'm going to just decide to think about how it feels to be that woman, that Andrea in the future who has these things happening for her. And that's what I started to lean to. So I picked a different type of categories. Number one, family, health, and wellness, right? Like my bucket. Health is everything. So that's it. And then I would focus on career. What do I want to feel? What do I want to visualize? I'm on a stage, giving a keynote presentation. I'm in a bookstore, signing my book, all these things that I wanted for myself. You have to sit with it and think about, really, what do you want, right? And it has to be things that are truly attainable and within your reach. Big, lofty goals, but not out of your, don't sit there and think about yourself winning the lottery, which is great. But,
it's nothing you have in control over in any aspect.
Correct. Correct. And then I would think about love in my life. You've met someone new and you're remarried, and that's a beautiful thing. And I want to get there too. And that's so kind of where I lean into in those different categories of what feels good for me. Where's my purpose? Where's my passion? Where does that lie? And then I would write them down, and then I would speak them aloud, and then I would replay them.
And you said, as you spoke them aloud, you spoke them as if they were happening in your life. Correct. Right there. So I am grateful for speaking on a stage or having the book in my hands, correct, even though that was not the present. You're talking about it as the present.
I am grateful for being a best-selling author. That's what I would say, right? That's where we're going and that's where we're going to get. So that's the intention. And I did that in every category.
I know this is a really tricky question, but it's something a lot of people wonder when they start doing these affirmations is how long did it take before you started noticing a shift in your own mindset when doing those?
Very quickly. I mean, really? Very quickly. Because within a week, I feel like I started to shift out of that heavy feeling of reality and started to think, your brain doesn't know the difference. If you're feeling the joy from a future projection, you're feeling the joy as a current actual reality, you feel it. You feel it either way. And so I started to just, within a week, I was like, I hadn't done this before. It wasn't this was I wasn't raised like this. I'm a realist. I'm a roll your sleeves up, get to work, make things happen kind of girl. So this was a little different for me, but I started to feel an energy shift within the first week. And I started to think about the good and get out of the reality of the heaviness. I just felt that shift. And I was like, okay, I need to do more of that. I need to think about more of that. And then little things throughout the day would happen where, if after I just did one of those mind up mantras, I would then apply myself in a different way during the day, right? I just visualized myself writing a book. I took action throughout my day without even realizing it, unconsciously, just doing things that led to that, right? And then subconsciously as well. But it puts you in a different mindset.
I hear about the results of doing that so often. It reminds me actually of my friend Tira, who we talk about it as manifesting. And she actually keeps a manifestation spreadsheet. So she can like talk about the thing like she manifested and then track it to see like how it impacted her life, because she needed those real results and that real proof that it works. And it did work for her. Like, and it keeps working for her. And I just think like, it seems like it's so woo, but it's also like what you talked about. When you start speaking it into the world, your actions change. You show up as a different person. Your energy changes with how you approach situations. And it's with that energy change that's when the things start happening.
That is it. Energy. Like attracts like, right? So if you're sitting there and you're spending all of your time and energy on thinking about all the crappy stuff in your life and how sad you are that things aren't turning out the way you want, you're going to get more of that in your life.
Yeah.
You're going to find it. It's like you've all heard of, you've been in a meeting and someone's like, okay, don't think of a red heart or whatever it is. And then everybody's thinking of a red heart. It's like the same thing, right? Don't think about the crappy moments. If you just think about them, that's all you're going to be absorbed with. Everything. There's people like, oh, of course that happened to me. Right? That kind of attitude. Well, of course I got a flat tire. Well, of course that happened to me. It's like, well, that's always going to be you. You are always going to have shit happening to you if that is your mindset. I tell my girls that I'm like, you better shift that energy because that is going to be your life if that's how you approach your day. Like you determine your day, you determine your mood, you determine your energy, and you determine your response, like how you respond, because life is going to throw things your way. And you don't get to always have a say on how that unfolds, but you get to have a say on how you respond to it and what your reaction is.
Oh, Andrea, this is the pep talk I've needed. Bree knows it. I have been down in the dumps on myself because I am so afraid. So I'm writing a book right now and I'm in the copy editing phase. And it's that phase where like I am looking for, and like all you see when you go through it is all of the editor's changes and everything. And you start getting into this mindset where you're like, I just suck. Like there is so much wrong here. Like
it's so true.
This is what I need. Like I immediately want to write these gratitude statements and start find that app and start listening to it.
But also you're writing a book. Okay. You're writing a book, which you wrote, right? Like you already wrote it. So allow that challenging element to sink in. But gosh, that's like a huge accomplishment for you to be proud of. And if you just lean into that and then, lean into these gratitude affirmations, visualize the book done and being something you're so proud of and all of the things that will come from it.
That is what I'm going to work on. Those are my next steps.
I love
because this whole like being stuck in the dump and thinking like everything is not good. It's not a happy place to be at.
No.
At all. No.
Nobody actually enjoys being there. I think that's something that we have to remember too. Nobody enjoys being in the negative mindset. So if you're there, like you're saying, Andrea and Joanne, like think about where you would like to be. Instead of being here, where would I like to be? And I would also challenge us to have that same compassion, right? For other people in our lives that are struggling. Being like, okay, it does suck right now. Where do you want to be?
That's a really hard thing. And I'm wondering, Andrea, like how you deal with that when people in your life have that attitude. And it's not your daughters where you can't be like, mind up. But it's like another adult. How do you approach
a friend,
that?
A sister, a mom. Like,
that's my career. That is my career. Like, I mean, I work with women from all walks of life. And it's funny because, very early on in my career as a fitness professional, I'm a business owner, my coworkers and I would say we feel like therapists as opposed to like fitness and trainers, because we were listening and hearing and absorbing and guiding and motivating and trying to support. But through this practice of developing Extend Bar and working with primarily women from all walks of life, I'm talking from the 20-year-old college student who comes in then to the studio and her mom who is right next to her, to the grandma that comes in with her. And then, I was hearing the same type of challenges across the globe. I'd go to Shanghai and teach a class and the women would ask me the same type of questions as the women would here in the US. And it was just interesting to see, like, doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, what your age is, we all have these same type of challenges as women in general. They might not be specifically the same, but overall, there's a lot of commonality in the things that we struggle with.
Yeah.
And also, when I was writing this book, I was thinking about some of my closest friends who I am always working with to try and help them to mind up and to help them to get out of the funk and to help them focus on their capabilities and what they are 100% deserving of. And so, yeah, I've had lots of these conversations with lots of women. And the goal is to always, what you said, Brie, is to try to get out of that funk. And when you're in it, it is not easy. So it's very easy to say, like, just think up, just think of the happy thoughts, like just be happy. And you're like, okay, sure. Okay, Andrea, like my life is falling apart, like good for you that you can do that. But like,
give me the pill, give me the switch, whatever it is that makes me get there as fast as possible. But there's no shortcuts.
And this is it. You have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, is this the person you want to be? Like, is this the individual that you want to be? Do you want to feel like this again tomorrow morning? Do you want to feel like you're just getting through your day? Or do you want to feel like there's like a little bit of, I don't know, electricity to your day? Is there a little bit of like excitement and something to look forward to? Like, what is that? And how do we get there? It's not going to be easy. It doesn't happen overnight. But I promise you, if you actually contribute and make a real honest effort consistently, you will get there. And it will come sooner than you realize.
Oh, I love that. I'm doing it today, like right after we get off this.
You're going to have to message me, Joanne. I want to hear.
I will message you.
I really do. Okay. I'm going to be following up. I'm going to be thinking of you tomorrow morning. I'm like, did she do it? How do you feel?
I'm so going to do it. That leads us into how we end every podcast episode. Andrea, what is one thing that you are looking forward to right now in your life?
Right now, obviously, I'm looking forward to the book launch. And this is something new for me. I've never done anything like this. This has always been obviously on my bucket list, but I'm really looking forward to just what you said, Joanne. I'm looking forward to hearing back from all these women who have finally found a little toolkit, a guide. It's like a best friend in your pocket to help you get through some of these challenges in life and just to support you and encourage you and remind you that you are worthy, capable, and you're going to feel a lot different after you're done reading this book and executing on these principles.
I love that.
I love it. Go get Andrea's book. Go pre-order it right now. Or if you're listening to it after the launch date, go and get it. It is called Small Moves, Big Life. And we can't wait to hear the changes that it makes in you too, because Andrea, this has been a complete joy. It has been so wonderful talking with you. And I feel uplifted after our interview when I had a completely crappy morning. So thank you for being here with us this morning.
Thank you. Love your energy, guys.
And remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.